Good day, everyone. Welcome. My name is Loreto Atamosa, and for today's video, we are going to talk about the last set of topics under the Applied Economics with the title Socioeconomic Studies and the Business Environment. With that said, we will have a deeper understanding of economic issues facing Filipino entrepreneurs, business opportunities, and socioeconomic variables. So this economic issue acquaints us with the idea of collective economy as another business wonder in the Philippines. So it additionally investigates the administrative issues and worries that accompany its ascent in the nation. So we have seen that business ventures straightforwardly influences the social and financial advancement of individuals. So the more society participates in enterprising endeavors, the more it's probably going to grow financially and socially. So our nation actually has far to go to find more created nation. And so, are you ready? Alrighty, so this time, we will focus our discussion on economic issues facing Filipino entrepreneurs. Having said that, our objectives for this video discussion is for us to have a deeper understanding on learning the concept of investment and identify its determinants, to learn about the link between investment and interest rate, to discuss the factors that affect the investment demand curve, to describe labor demand and labor supply in a perfectly competitive market, to understand why governments need to impose minimum wages, and to learn about the role and importance of taxes in the economy. And so, let's start! So we have a learning partner today, which is Ms. Vivian Suarez, to further discuss the economic issues facing Filipino entrepreneurs. Let's watch this.
We are going to talk about the contemporary economic issues facing the Filipino entrepreneur. So let's get started. So let's define first what is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is defined as the act of starting and running your own business, or a tendency to be creative and wish to work for yourself in your own ventures. An example of entrepreneurship is a person who is running his own business, while entrepreneur is the one who creates a business. So, may mga kilala tayong entrepreneur dito sa Pilipinas like Henry C., yung may-ari ng SM, may-ari ng Jollibee, may-ari ng Mang Inasal. Who are they? They are the Filipino entrepreneur na sikat lalo-lalo na dito sa Pilipinas. So next, what are the innovation strategies of entrepreneur? So the first is creation of a new product or service. So, in response to a customer's need, gumagawa tayo, mag-create tayo ng new product or service. Next is the improvement of the existing product. So, to keep up with evolving consumer needs and preferences, while at the same time, a new product is created. Then the next is process improvement. So, it will provide a more cost-effective alternative to how it is usually done. So what is disruptive innovation naman? It is defined as a process that, as the name implies, disrupts or changes the structure of an existing market. So an example of this is an introduction to digital music downloads. So nireplace na nila yung compact disc or yung mga CD. So dati nagsi-CD burn pa kami. So ngayon, Spotify na lang, or nagda-download na lang tayo ng mga musics. Then, we have the types of business structures. First is sole proprietorship. So, pag sole proprietorship refers to a business having a single owner. So, ibig sabihin, isa lang yung may-ari. So, partnership refers to a business having more than one owner. Then, the corporation refers to a business type where the owner and the business are considered as separate entities. So, sa corporation, ang may mga ari na dito is mga shareholders or the investors. So, pag nag-start ka naman ng business, ito yung mga kailangan mo. The first is DTI. So, you need to register the business name of your business. Next is in barangay. So, you secure barangay clearance. Sa municipality naman is kailangan mong kumuha ng business permit. Next is the BIR. You will apply for tax identification or the TIN. This is to secure authority to print receipts, have ledgers and invoices stamped. Then the fifth one is SSS. You will apply as self-employed owners kung solo ka lang and others kung business naman. So business, as they say, is like a gamble. It takes a brave heart to invest their resources with no guarantee that there will be a return of investment. So in this module, let us discuss what are the economic issues affecting the Filipino entrepreneurs. So sa pagpuput up ng business, it is necessary to know the initial investment of the entrepreneur so that he will be able to assess if he needs additional investment. So what are these investment? Investment, it is defined as the building up the capital stock for more future production and consumption. So kapag ang entrepreneur is walang enough investment, he will resort to borrowings or mangungutang siya sa mga financial institution like banks. And these borrowings will bear interest rates. So yung interest rates po is the amount of interest due period as a proportion of the amount na lent or deposited or borrowed. So ano po ba ang effects nito sa ating mga entrepreneur? So if these financial institutions like banks have low interest rates, it will attract more entrepreneurs to invest. So if naman may high interest rate sila, it will lessen the opportunity of the entrepreneurs to start their business in the country. So next is na nakaka-apekto or nakaka-issues na kinakaharap ng ating mga Filipino entrepreneurs is the rentals. So as an investors, what will you do if you don't own the land or space to be used for your business? So syempre, ang pinakasagot dito is magre-rent tayo or we'll lease a land or space. So but how does this rental affect our business or your business operations? So kung mapapansin nyo sa income statement, rental fee is in expense accounts. Kung ibig sabihin, the bigger the space or the place, the higher the cost. So also consider the location. It is more costly to rent in urban areas than in rural areas. So for example, ang rental fee ng 100 square meter of land sa Pasig City is 50,000 per month. But in Pampanga, with the same area is only 25,000 per month. So, ibig sabihin, when you are planning na mag-rent ng space, you will always consider the size and the location of ng rerentahan mo. So, the third economic issues na kinakaharap ng ating mga Filipino entrepreneurs is the minimum wage. So, this minimum wage is the lowest wage permitted by the law, below which is paid by employer and will subject him to penalty from the government. So, kapag hindi pala nagpatupad this business enterprise or the entrepreneur ng minimum wage, is possible silang makulong. So in the Philippines, the Department of Labor and Employment or the DOLE issued wage order for minimum wage earners effective January 1, 2020. So, but how was this minimum wage is determined? So, pag yung minimum wage natin ay rates and nadidetermine by such factors such as poverty thresholds, prevailing wage rates as determined by the Labor Force Survey, and socioeconomic indicators, for example, the inflation, employment figures, gross regional domestic product, and among others, that will ensure better workers' protection. So, yung mga entrepreneur po is also employers and they are obliged na magbayad po ng minimum wage because this is a government mandated. And isa pa po sa economic issues na kinakaharap ng mga Filipino entrepreneurs is the taxes. So, tax is the lifeblood of the economy. So, kung wala pong tax, is babagsak po ang ekonomiya ng bansa. So, tax fuels the social services provided by the government to its citizen. So, but how does this tax affect the entrepreneur? So, kapag high taxes po, it will tend to lessen investment because yung tax po is considered an additional cost sa part ng mga entrepreneur. And kapag naman low taxes, ibig sabihin naman po nito is fewer government projects ang mangyayari sa bansa, such as school, buildings, roads, and bridges, and providing the social services sa people. Hindi po yan masyadong magagawa ng ating government because mukhang mababa po ang tax. So, I hope na nag-enjoy kayo sa talakayan natin.
Already, that is amazing, right? So we have learned that an investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation. So appreciation refers to an increase in the value of an asset over time. So when an individual purchases a good as an investment, the intent is not to consume the good but rather to use it in the future to create wealth. And so we can say that investment have determinants, and these are expectations, level of economic activity, technological change, and public policy. And so investment is something that will produce or procure benefits as payer benefit. So investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation. But investment also poses some economic problems that comes along with it. So as mentioned earlier, we have rent, labor market, and taxes. So in modern economic usage, rent is represented as the difference between the total return to a factor of production, example land, labor, or capital, and its supply price, so that is the minimum amount necessary to attain its services. And labor market refers to the supply of a demand for labor, in which employees provide the supply and employers provide the demand. Taxes, on the other hand, are mandatory contributors levied on individuals or corporations by a government entity, so whether local, regional, or national. So tax revenues finance government activities, including public works and services such as roads and schools, or programs such as social security and healthcare. And so taxes have different types. We have progressive taxes. So a progressive tax is one where the average tax burden increases with income. And so high-income families pay a disproportionate share of the tax burden, while low and middle-income taxpayers shoulder a relatively small tax burden. We also have proportional taxes. So a proportional tax is an income tax system that levies the same percentage tax to everyone regardless of income. So a proportional tax is the same for low, middle, and high income taxpayers. We also have regressive taxes. So a regressive tax is one where the average tax burden decreases with income. So low-income taxpayers pay a disproportionate share of the tax burden, while middle and high-income taxpayers shoulder a relatively small tax burden. Alrighty, that is for today's video discussion on the economic issues facing Filipino entrepreneurs. Thank you for listening. My name is Loreto Atamosa. See you in my next video. Goodbye!